We lease, and we use recycled wastewater, which is really good.
Well, this is Stan of Stan Devoto Farms.
Of Devoto Gardens.
Of Devoto Gardens. And he has a farm stand at St. Helena Farmers Market. And where else do you have it?
We go to Napa. We go to the Ferry Building on Saturdays.
Oh, great.
Clement Street on Sundays, Walnut Creek on Sundays, and the San Rafael Market on both Thursdays and Sundays.
Wow. And so this part here, is this part of the setup?
This was just planted. These are, oh gosh, there must be 10 or 12 varieties here. Some new varieties, some antique varieties, and we're growing cut flowers in between the trees. We were actually going to plant grapes here, but what happened was the market got so bad that I had all these apples left over from grafts, so I thought, let's plant them. And we added soil amendments, organic, of course, and lime and all that. Ripped it, disced it, and then we planted these guys about a month ago.
Okay, and what is here again?
That's Dianthus. It's the Neon series.
Okay.
We're going to plant a little bit of Status, a little bit of Foxglove.
Wow.
We have planted sweet peas already. Things will be ready in about 90 days.
Okay, so it's primarily flowers.
Right in between, yeah.
Okay.
But we really don't grow flowers here. The majority of our flowers are grown at the farm in Santa Rosa using recycled wastewater.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, what's amazing is when we first started there 30 years ago, they used to pay us to take the water. And tables have turned. Now we pay them, and they tripled our lease.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, it's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And most of the water goes up to the geysers, Calpine.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Well, this is a nice little hoop house.
It works. We used to have about 6 of them because we used to grow under glass, and we're slowly but surely phasing out of cut flowers.
Oh, okay.
And the reason we grow cut flowers is just to keep the crew going year round. Yeah.
Okay. And so what are you going to be morphing into?
Apples.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we started 49 years ago.
Well, maybe you'll have some Orleans Renette apples after this
Well, what
new
I'm going
apple.
to do, I might top work a tree. And that way I'll get some fruit maybe next year, for sure in 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, so that's when I can expect my grafts to hopefully take.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. How many acres?
We farm about 45 to 50 acres, and we do about 11 acres.
Okay.
Of wine grapes, organic, of course.
Yeah.
And we do 7.5, 8 acres of cut flowers, and then the rest are in apples.
Wow. And so what variety of grapes do you use?
Pinot.
Oh, okay.
We do, and we do about 4 or 5 clones here. And then we lease a small place right across the street. There's some Chardonnay there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what clones do you use on the Pinot?
On the Pinot, we do Dijon Clone 828. We do 115, 667. And then we do a Clone 37, which is a Mary Edwards clone.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a really good one. And the good thing is we mainly sell to local winemakers. We sell to Ted Lemon across the street here of Literai.
Oh, wow, yeah.
We sell a little bit to Donnellan Winery. They're over in Santa Rosa, and then en route.
Yeah. Well, if you have any fruit left over, my husband makes Pinot as well.
Does he really?
Yeah,
Good. Well,
yeah.
I just might. This year we had 3.25 tons left over.
Oh my gosh.
This is the first year ever we had excess fruit, and what happened was the wineries we worked with followed the contract. In other words, if the contract called for 4 tons an acre, they didn't take anything over that. This is the first year that's ever happened.
Oh, wow.
So I partnered with a winemaker, a friend, and we processed the
how fun.
3+ tons.
Oh, how fun.
Okay, these here are apples that are could be used for cider, mainly eating varieties. There's probably 30-40 varieties in this block, and as you can see, they're planted pretty darn close together.
I can see why you would want Wixon then. That's a great cider apple.
And it's great for eating. The only issue is it's small.
That is true.
And it takes forever to pick.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it has good flavor.
It's
unique.
If it were a large apple, it'd be my favorite apple.
Okay.
It's got the right amount of sweetness with tartness. It's very, very firm, and it bears consistently every year.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't thin them. We thin ours to about 4 inches apart. That way we get a little bit bigger size. If you don't thin them, they'll stay real small. And they'll alternate bear, as will most apples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so you, looks like you have some fava.
We have fava beans, bell beans, and we just chopped in the brush. We used to burn. Burning has its advantages. The one disadvantage, of course, is smoke pollution.
Yeah.
And the disadvantage of chopping, if you have diseased wood, you're incorporating it into your soil, like fire blight and various types of issues.
Yeah.
So we try to separate that.
Yeah.
And then we haul it away.
Okay.
Yeah. Or compost it.
Yeah, sure. Well, these look like some well taken care of vines.
The guys do a good job. We don't cane prune yet. This is cordon. It's real fast and easy. Some winemakers like the cordon. Some like cane pruning. The advantage of cane pruning is you renew your wood every year. The disadvantage is it takes a lot longer, but it's a toss-up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know my husband does like cordon pruning.
Does he farm grapes?
No, but he sources it from certain wine grape growers, and he's very picky.
Well, with what's going on now with the industry, he should be able to get grapes for practically
That's what
nothing.
He's saying is that
it's so sad.
Yeah, he's actually had to cut back his contracts with some grape growers because he has too much and he needs to reduce.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. I'll have him definitely, if he's interested, I'll have him get in touch with you.
Yeah. Right now, I think I'm covered for 3 years. I know this block, part of this block, and we'll go over there. The block over the hill will be available in 2028.
Okay.
A lot of wineries are not given large contracts now, and you can't blame them.
Yeah.
It's real. The market's uncertain.
Are you handshake or are you paper contract?
We're paper. Yeah.
Got it. Wow, look at this guy.
I know. It's a long story about this water tank.
Yeah.
It leaked as soon as we filled it up.
Oh.
We didn't build it. And then the guy who built it committed suicide because I think all his tanks leaked.
Oh, no.
I'm serious. And
that's
we've had
so
people
sad.
coming in to seal it. I was told just jackhammer it out. But it doesn't leak too bad.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, these trees here we planted.
Oh, these are big guys.
These are big guys, yeah. These are seedling rootstock. And that's all I'm planting now.
Okay.
And for a couple reasons. The main reason is that they can handle periods of drought and they can handle wet feet in the springtime.
Oh, fantastic.
The disadvantage is they need a little more space.
Yeah.
And they take a year or so extra to start bearing fruit. But there's probably Oh, there's a lot of varieties here. There's Mutsu, there's Hubbardston Nunsuch, Hawaiian, Davison, which is a chance seedling, way up there. I think there's some Fujis here. Pink Ladies, Arkansas Blacks, Hudson Golden Gem. I mean, just a good mix.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, it's really gorgeous. You do a great job.
Well, we try. You do the best you can.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, you have a nice property. It's
let's go down and I'll show you the trees we top worked.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. We did some last year. We did some 2 years ago. And we did some 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What happened, Jennifer, was that my daughter had a hard cider company called Golden State.
Okay.
And I had contracts, of course, handshake contracts with my daughter.
Yeah.
And the company was sold about 3 years ago, and I'm no longer working with the company that bought it. They're honorable, but it's just we're going different directions. So what I did, I top worked all the cider varieties. The cider varieties are some French, some American varieties, a lot of European varieties.
Oh.
But they're sharp. They're bitter, they're astringent, they're sour, and they are not good for eating or cooking.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what I did, I top worked, about 150 trees.
Sure.
To eating apples. I'm
nice.
Kind of more into eating.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the prettier properties I think I've ever seen, with a great view.
It's a good piece of property. My late wife and I, we bought property right down the block here in 1976, and then I built a house and we moved here. It was hard to leave that place because this place was funky. It was at the time it was an 80-year-old apple ranch and dilapidated, and we took out all the orchards and we rebuilt the house. I promised her I'd build her a house, but I never did.
Oh.
And by the time we drilled the well, built greenhouses, fixed the barn, I'd spent all the money. So but we slowly but surely, we planted mainly cut flowers here. We had at one time about 17 acres of cut flowers here.
Oh, wow.
Alone.
And now how many acres do you have?
Of cut flowers here, we don't have any here, except, just a little bit.
Yeah. How many acres is the property itself?
This property's 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's a good size. Well, if you ever want to downsize, I'm looking for property.
Yeah, oh, it's so hard. You know what?
I know.
When I first moved here, Jennifer, this is the truth. You could buy property for $3,500 to $5,000 an acre. In fact, the property we bought down here in 1975, let's see, what was it? It was 2.5 acres, a little bit more. Paid $18,000, and all the locals were laughing at me. Oh, Stan, you got ripped off.
Wow.
And so we built the house. It took 9 months or so, maybe a little more. I lived at the time. You could do this. I lived in an Airstream right on the property. I rented and just built the house.
Wow. Well, you did good for yourself.
I'm still trying. This is Dijon Clone 828. What I like about this, it makes great wine. A lot of the winemakers, for some reason, think, oh, this is too easy to grow, so it doesn't make great wine. But it makes some of the best wine that I've tasted. The wine we're making this year is a blend of the 115 with the 828. The 828's a little more fruit forward.
Okay.
But the two should be delicious.
Wow. Yeah. And I always love diversity anyway. It seems like it makes for anything good. But what's your tasting notes of the Dijon? The
828, it's a little more fruit forward than the other ones. Okay. Like the 115 has really has a little more acid, but the tannins are real soft. The wine's made from this. This is 6672, a little more fruit forward than the 115, but we harvest these at the same time.
Okay.
This is harvested about 2 weeks after this.
And how many bricks are you looking for?
Well, working with Ted Lemon, he normally harvests 22 bricks, maybe a tad more.
Okay.
The big boys like 26, 25, 26.
Yeah, I think.
How about your husband?
Well, with Pinot it's different than Cab. He primarily makes Cab, but he started doing Pinot. And so I know that he waits as long as he can with Cab, but with Pinot it's different. So I can't recall. I think he may be around 23.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, 23. Maybe 24, but I think he's fairly conservative.
We made wine, let's see, there was one year, I think it was 2015, and we did about 78 cases, and I hired a friend who's a winemaker as a consultant, because obviously I'm a dirt farmer and I don't know all the subtleties, and you know, I didn't want to get stuck with 80 cases of wine that doesn't taste good.
Well, you'll have to look Roy up, Roy Piper Wines.
Okay, neat.
He's probably going to do some wine
Google
consulting in the future. Yeah.
Now you can see this has not, we didn't cover crop this, and the reason is we harvested these up until almost the 3rd week in November. So,
wow, these are beautiful.
Some of them are okay.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm just going to show you. You can see these rows here are semi-dwarfs.
Yeah.
And they don't do well. And the whole land drains this area right here.
Right.
The trees over there, the bigger ones, are seedling, and they can handle the wet feet. So
yeah, seems like seedlings in general are always more strong and tolerant.
They are more strong. The trees will last. You know, we have a place on the highway here, and the trees are 80 plus years old, and they bear every year, and they bear really nice fruit.
80 years old.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for this tour. You've been very generous. I love it. It's always nice.
I try to walk around every day because I always see something.
Yeah.
I see garbage. And I tell
well,
the guy,
I think a good farmer does that.
Yeah.
And what are those oak trees over there?
Where?
Just
yeah, those are oak, and that's the border of our property.
Okay.
What I wanted to show you was
that is Mount St. Helena on the other
side.
St.
Helena.
Yeah.
Cobb Mountain.
Uh-huh.
Between.
Uh-huh.
Geyser Peak to the north. And of course, straight out here near those faraway oak trees, that's Sugarloaf.
Oh yeah, okay.
Gunsight Rock, one of the best hikes in Sonoma County.
Yeah, Hood Mountain.
Yeah. These we did 2 years ago, and these we did 3 years ago. So you can see by top working trees, you've got that massive roots system, and then you have 3 or 4 inches of scion wood, so all that energy goes.
Wow. So you definitely use a pruning seal.
Yes.
That's good.
And we always lose, you know, a few limbs or something.
What is your favorite grafting method? Whip and tongue?
What I do a big cleft graft here. We'll just take a piece, and then we'll take a mallet and split it, put a wedge there, and put scions on each side.
Okay.
I use masking tape just because the tree is able to grow and split it.
Yeah.
Electrical tape, when you peel it off, will peel
It'll
off
strangle
the
it.
bark. Yeah.
Oh, it does peel off, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, here's some Wixen.
Oh.
These 5, 6 trees here, we have about 70 or 80 Wixen trees total.
Wow.
Yeah. And these are King David here. This row here.
Yep.
That's a good apple, by the way. That's one you should have. I think it would do
I actually gave you one of the scions,
it's
King
a good
David.
One.
Couple King Davids, yeah.
This row's called Sundowner. It's related to Pink Lady. It's Crips Red.
All right.
And it's a good one. It ripens in mid to late November.
Oh, that's a nice tree.
Yeah. And these we planted 5 years ago. And of course, they're not on seedling rootstock. The rootstock I used was Bud 118.
Okay.
And these are planted really close together. They're like 6 by 14, which is incredibly close. But I think at my age, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was young and I had the land, I'd plant them further apart.
Sure. Yeah.
And here we have Arkansas Blacks.
Oh, nice.
Did you get any Gold Rush?
Nope. I got Ashmead's Kernel.
That's a good one. That's early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Newton Pippin. There's a couple left in the bag that I gave you.
Nice.
What else? A Macoun.
Have you tasted Macoun?
No.
Do you know Ted Richardson? He's a member of the Rare Fruit. He has an orchard. He gave me some wood, and he said it's one of the best.
Oh, really?
So I'm doing 10 trees.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going to plant them.
I know.
No, I do have
I'm
another
excited.
area that I'm growing cut flowers in just because I'm not planting more grapes.
Yeah. Well,
And this
what else did I plant? Oh, there's I guess a related apple to Orleans Renette that I planted, grafted, which is Renette de France.
Don't know it.
Okay, yeah, I grafted that. So I have a couple pieces of cyanwood that are not marked, and they may be Renette de France.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you want any wood next year, let me know because we have over 100 varieties.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, if I get my property, I'll have more apples at this time.
Yeah. How big's your place now?
So we just have a little urban garden that's 5,000 square feet in St. Helena. So it's not enough gardening space for me.
I can see it.
So I'm looking for, something bigger.
These are seedling rootstock, and they're planted 8 by 15, which is way too close. And that's Godetia.
Okay. What is that flower?
It's a hybridized wildflower. It is one of the most beautiful flowers we grow.
Wow.
It comes in shades of white, pink, salmon, rose, purple, and red.
Wow.
And the only unfortunate thing is they open up real quickly once it warms up.
Yeah. Well, you've got quite a property. I'm jealous. Very, very jealous.
Let me tell you, you know what? It's a lot of work. That's all I can say.
Well, do you have the kind of climate here that you can grow avocados?
I'm going to try some. Yeah, I'm going to try it. This year we haven't gotten freezes, but what's weird, one of my friends, David Klein, he owns a company called Ambix. He does apple brandy.
Okay.
And he's down in the flats. We actually had more, I have a weather station. We actually had more winter chill degrees below 45 than he did down below.
What?
Even though he got into the 20s, it warmed up quicker there.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense? It doesn't, but it warmed up quicker than it did up here for some reason. And he checked my weather station and he did a graph and I was below him.
Wow, that's surprising.
So I think I could grow avocados here.
Okay.
The one I really like is the big one called Reed.
Yeah, I've got 3.
No, you don't.
I've got 3. In fact,
Do they bear?
I've got an extra one maybe.
Do they bear?
Well, they're young.
Oh, okay.
They haven't, everything that I've done is about 2 years old, so nothing's really come to fruition yet.
That's a great avocado.
Yep, Reed is one of my favorites. And I don't know if you're familiar with Freddie Meng and Ellen Barker of Epicenter Nursery in Watsonville.
I'll take a look.
I'll
text you all that info.
Yeah, you'll want to get a hold of them because they've got avocado varieties that do well in Northern California. Bonnie Doon is one.
Okay.
You'll want to look into that. I've actually got some a couple seedlings that I grafted Bonnie Doon onto, and if they take, I might give you one.
Okay, neat. Neat.
But you're also welcome to just, get a hold of Freddie and Ellen and get some that they have there.
Because I do have areas.
Okay. Palo Doro is another one. It's like Pinkerton. I don't know if you know of Pinkerton.
I don't.
It's a big pear-shaped fruit that can be like large and one of the tastiest.
In St. Helena?
Well, it's not the best. It's very rangy. Doesn't really do great up here, but Palo Doro has done really well up in Northern California.
You guys...
And that's similar.
You guys
Bigger.
get 15 degrees. It's 15 degrees warmer than here in the summertime.
Yep, we do.
It probably gets a little colder there than here too, since we're only 10 miles
I don't
from
know.
the coast.
I've been comparing the temperatures, and actually, you guys are you're very comparable to us
in wintertime.
In wintertime, which has surprised me. So it's made me a little hesitant to get property out here because I want to grow avocados.
Yeah. These trees here I got from Bob Kennard. He was his dad was one of my ag instructors. And these are Pixie Crunch. It's one of those varieties that's really good, by the way. I hate the name.
Yeah. I know some of the names are just awful.
I know. What I like about it is that it's, I didn't do anything to this little block here because these were planted 3 years ago. And I didn't spray them. I fertilized them. Obviously, they have drip irrigation, as you can see.
Yeah.
We fertilize them about 3 times during the growing season. I'm a big advocate of fertilizing young trees. And once the trees get old, they need very little nitrogen. In fact, that cover crop's a little bit too much for the trees because you tend to get bitter pit and that kind of stuff. But this is a really good variety. Never sprayed it, and I'd say about 90% of our apples were saleable.
Wow.
We only picked 3.
Do you do nitrogen fixers on these rows?
What do you mean nitrogen? I will, but
Cover crop?
didn't. We didn't because we just, I don't know why. We just didn't do it for some strange reason.
Okay.
We grew sweet peas here 2 years ago, and they were, just in between the trees.
Yeah,
and
that'll
the
do it.
Sweet peas got 8 feet tall.
Oh, that's great. Well, that'll fix the nitrogen.
And then there's another one you might like called Sweet Tango. Once again, I hate the name. It's sort of like a Honeycrisp, but it ripens along with the Gravensteins in August. In your area, it'd ripen early August.
Interesting.
And it has a little bit more acid.
Okay.
And then the trees with the yellow tags are seedlings. So we're going to top work. I'm going to top work. There's a Spanish apple called Piel de Sapo. I think Skin of the Toad.
That's a nice bark. That's pretty.
And we'll cut these to maybe 5 main scaffolds and then graft on.
Yeah.
And the ones there, and that's where your tree's going. That blind spot right
Oh,
there.
that's great.
So it's close, but the Sweet Tango is another apple worth growing. And then of course there's red wine sap. There's a row of that up all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Belle de Boscoop, are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
It's a Dutch apple. It's very crisp.
Those
it's large.
Dutch apples, man. They're pretty impressive.
Good. They're crisp. It's not an apple for sissies. No, I'm serious. It's got some tartness, and it makes the best. I don't eat many sweets, but it does make the best apple strudel I've had.
Wonderful. Well, Stan, this is a great tour. Thank you. Oh, this is a new addition.
That one's called, I bought that tree. And it's called Ghost Apple.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, if you need scion wood of that, I'll have it next year.
All right.
I've had it before. It's a good apple. It's not like, wow, that's just so great.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
And it ripens, unfortunately, in late July, before the graft. So I grafted 5 trees over here.
Okay.
That young block.
Yeah.
And it's pure white. I had it up in Oregon. And at Harmony Farm Supply, I was just looking at bare root trees last year, and there it was.
Wow.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, they had Ashmead's kernel this year.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And if you wait, their trees are 50% off in about a week or two.
Okay. Good to know.
But
I won't have any room for them.
the thing is, the root stocks cost me about, by the time you pay for shipping and all that, they're about $2.
Okay.
But then you got to care for them for a year.
Yeah.
It's not, I haven't had real good luck planting them in the field. So what I'll do, I'll either grow them in containers for a year, or I'll put them in a seed bed where they get real special care.
Yeah. I like it. Well, I love your property.
That's it.
This is great. And
how about some cider?
Ooh, I'd love some.
Well, I don't have much left. I had my daughter, when she sold her business, she goes, Dad, can I store my cider? This used to be our flower barn.
Oh, I love it.
My wife did flower arrangements for clients and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now we made it into a house.
Oh, wow.
I've got some cider. But I gave it all away.
Oh, neat little tasting room.
No.
No? Oh, wow.
And
you guys
this is Pomo.
Okay.
It's apple brandy with a juice add back. It's
Oh my
sweet.
Gosh.
It's sweet.
Wow.
It's sweet. It's not a real, it's not, you can have
Wow, you're giving that to me. That's very generous. Thank you.
She gave me 70 or 80 cases.
Wow.
And the real brandy I liked. Apple brandy, and I gave, I went to get some the other day, and they're all gone. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for the tree. I appreciate it. Yeah.
No worries. I love sharing, and this has been fun.
And when
Good
you
to meet
need
you.
any scion woods,
I will be back.
yeah, we have a lot. Yeah.
All right.